you join us on a YouTube video so terrible, so despicable, it is unfathomable to us that you would even continue listening from this point. Why anyone would pay attention to a video so awful with a story that will get so dire is beyond even our understanding, and we can only hope the raging, merciless souls that continue listening to this find some solace later in their life. Hello, and welcome to One Watch.
Yeah.
It's just Sam and Tom. No, none of these rock and roll blood relative guests this week.
No one interested. If you wanted special guests, sorry.
Well, I'm not sorry. We should be enough. The guests are a bonus.
Yeah.
Right, so, concept, we always go through the concept quickly. We watch things, we talk about them. That's it. It's really simple, really easy.
This week,
and
Sam
I know Tom
about.
hasn't. Yeah, and I know Tom hasn't watched it because he would pick up on it from that intro straight away if he had. You ready?
Go for it.
Right. I started watching on Netflix Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, the series. My girlfriend's massively into them. Like, there's like 1 billion books. I was like, oh, you've read the books, right? She goes, yeah, I read a few. I stopped at 10. It's like, okay, if you've read 10 books in a series of anything, I'd call you a fan. Like, I don't know many series that can go 10 books and be good.
No.
Like, Game of Thrones managed 4, so she's doing fine.
Yeah.
And she showed me the films. She's never been that big on the films. You know the ones with Jim Carrey in?
Yeah.
I think there's 2. I'm not sure. I remember watching a film, and I feel like I've watched more than one. She was never that big on them. So with the series, she was like, oh, can we check it out, see if it's like... And like the first episode I was a bit, there's good and bad. And then I watched the second one last night with her. I was like, okay, I'm fucking into this. I barely laughed out loud at it.
Nice.
Right. So, if I asked you to name some of my favourite films, you would start with some of the obvious ones, like Old Boy or Terminator 2. And I think eventually you would get to some Wes Anderson films. You would get to stuff like Moonrise Kingdom or Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Possibly The Life Aquatic, though I don't think I've ever really talked to you. But it's that, you know, that kind of, those films with those whimsical, childlike, and lots of visual gags and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. It's made like that. And it starts with a narrator who, my girlfriend told me, like, everything he says is basically in the book. And it starts with, like, hello, you join us in a story so terrible that it is so awful, so tragic that it is unfathomable to me that anyone would want to continue listening. He pauses as if everyone's going to stop watching and then continues.
Nice.
And the theme, like, it has this, an actual titles. And first time I saw the titles, my girlfriend was like, I don't really like them. I really liked them because it's basically just saying, like, about how awful this show is and why anyone would want to watch it. I'm actually going to show it you after we're done. Like, it was really good. Do you know anything about the story or anything?
No.
Okay. There are 3 children. Their parents die in a fire. They have to go live with a relative. The relative they get is called the Count. He's played in this by Neil Patrick Harris. He's the most despicable, evil, nasty, comedic human being you've ever met. He says things like, do you know what that is? And then the kid will say, a ladder. He goes, wrong, a ladder. And he dresses up because he wants to be an actor. And he has this acting troupe, which, like, his main assistant is a guy with 2 hooks for hands.
Nice.
And, like most of the troupe can't act. And it's so, like, bizarre and fucking whimsical and out there that it's kind of wonderful. And it's, like, it's very Roald Dahl-y.
Yeah.
And then you mix that with, like, the Moonrise Kingdom style of, like the narrator will be stood in shorts on a beach talking, and then the camera will just move left, or the main characters will walk through and it will go from the narration to the adventure as if it's just seamless. And it's got, like, the miniatures, like they have this tram they ride, and it's like miniature. It's just, I really, really liked it. And like I said, the first episode, the one thing that will always hold any series back about child actors is the child fucking actors.
Yeah.
And these are 3 children. One is a baby, and the gimmick, which my girlfriend promises me works really well in the book, is no one understands the baby, but the baby is always saying really intelligent things. So they subtitle the baby.
Nice.
And sometimes you can't read the subtitles, but the baby is always saying very intelligent
Yeah.
things. But they, especially in the first episode, they drink from that well a fuck ton. And you're just like, move on from the baby. Da da da. But there is a bit in the second one where the baby is playing poker against someone. And seriously, I don't know if this baby, like, is just a natural actor, but they were very good in this, like, poker game thing. It was very... I've only watched the 2, so it might be terrible after the 2. But apparently it's... Every episode seems to be called Part 1, Part 2, and then it goes to another thing, Part 1, Part 2. My girlfriend told me, that will be... Each one will be a book. And it's just like the idea, which I love. The narrator is a guy called Lemony Snicket, and he seems to always be on the run, and he's always telling you about this tragic tale and everything else, and how the story's only going to get worse, and it's always, oh, if only their troubles had ended there, but then da 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 da. And the idea is like he's an investigator or something. My girlfriend told me within like 10 books in, she still hasn't found out what his deal is, but he's telling the story, and then you see the actual story. And then his narration will come in and out, and he'll be in different locations, and there's a lot of use of green screen, which you'll notice, but it's that really like person stands centre looking at the camera, green screen behind them, kind of very deliberate rather than the.
You're meant to know that it's a different background.
You're meant to know it's a different background. Yeah. And there's just these bits that happen. Like there's a guy called Mr. Poe. All he does is cough. I've forgotten what the name of the actor who plays him. He's really fun. There's a bit where he's like 6 times he presses a buzzer, and asks his secretary, "Can you bring me the Dubois file? Can you bring me the Dubois file? Can you bring me the Dubois file?" And the narrator then stands in front and talks a bit, and then pauses, and then he asks for the Dubois file again, and it just keeps going like that. And there's a bit where he's like, no, and just hangs out, and just the weird little character twerks and stuff. There's a bit where it made me laugh so much. Right, I want to avoid spoilers, but I fucking love this. Okay, it's Neil Patrick Harris plays the count. You know Neil Patrick Harris, right? How I Met Your Mother, child actor, came in. Openly gay guy, very, very cool. He's just hamming it up and having so much fun, and it works. It needs him to be like that. Right, he's got the children in a situation, and he's got a sand hourglass thing.
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, when the sand runs out, my evil plan will happen. Bangs it down, goes down. The children talk about how panic about the plan that's going to happen. They turn and look, and the last grain of sand falls out the thing. The count reopens the door and goes, "Well, I thought it would last longer. I bought this very cheap from da-da-da. Just, you'll have to turn it a few times." Turns it round again and slams out. And it's just little moments like that. I really recommend it. Like, first one, like I said, I came out like, it's okay, not sure about the kids. The second one, because in the second one, the kids are a lot more with like adult actors.
Yeah.
I really think. I don't know if
how
it's
are the other 2 kids?
Right.
Because babies, it's mostly directing when it comes to babies. It's waiting for them to do the right thing for the right shot.
Yeah, the baby is the least offensive of the 3. The main girl is okay at times, but again, it's when they've got adults around them. And the boy, right, at first I thought he was Sam from, Sam Sapowski from Moonrise Kingdom, the boy. And then I was like, oh, okay, awesome. But it's not. And very quickly as I realised that, I was like, he's not really... He's supposed to be, the idea is the eldest girl, when she comes of age, they have this big fortune, and when she comes of age, they'll get the fortune. So the count wants the fortune, and that's why he's taking care of them. But he's not really taking care of them. They have one bed, and he's like, "I've got you one bed, and I've spared no expense for this pile of rocks." And the room is just a broken down room with holes in it, no curtains on the window, in a horrible tower with one bed and a pile of rocks. It's just it's rolled out. It's just the creativity. It's clearly a book. And the girl is an inventor, and they do a lot of very quirky, very what is it, Matlock in America? There's a series, he'll get a match and something and a goldfish bowl, MacGyver, and he'll suddenly have created a spaceship. It's that kind of mad inventions. The boy's meant to be a scientific genius and really smart. They do show you the parents very briefly, and the parents are like that, and they're both really good actors. I've forgotten who plays the mother. The father is played by Will Arnett, who played Job in Arrested Development. So you can imagine what he's kind of like, and how deadpan he can be in a very deadpan kind of TV show. The kids, they're all right. They're just not. The second one, they grew on me a lot. So maybe it's just I need to get used to their style, or maybe it is just because they put them a lot more with like Joan Cusack. John Cusack's brother played. She played quite an important role in the first 2. I think the way my girlfriend tells it, it's she'll be gone now. Or I don't think she appeared in any of the other books my girlfriend read, but it's when they're around good actors, they're able to, whatever the scene works, and the count is the thing that makes it. Neil Patrick Harris, the count is just, he just is great. He's so over the top and just despicable and evil and nasty, and he'll eat cake, in front of them, and he doesn't just eat a cake. He like stuffs it in his mouth in this whole and then talks with his mouth. Like, it's just a guy having so much fucking fun. I really recommend it.
Fair play.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, did you watch anything, Tom?
The only thing I've
Oh,
watched...
hang on. Did you watch anything that doesn't involve surgery, Tom?
Technically, the show I watched does involve surgery.
We're going to proceed with trepidation and slowly. I will cut this fucking off if you start talking about like what the inside of my stomach looks like.
Not so much to that stuff. But yeah, the only thing I've been watching is the super fat, super heavy, or super skinny, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's basically a British program that they get a really fat person and a really skinny person, and they make them swap meals.
Mm.
And then they talk about loads of diet and stuff, which is where like there is surgery stuff because they talk about that shit occasionally. Most episodes are basically the same. Makes pretty good background noise. Some people are really fucking annoying. Particularly some of the skinny people are really fucking annoying.
Right. Are
Some
they
of
like
them.
really, really... I think
Some
I've
of
seen...
them actually have disorders that they're just not aware of, and that's like I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's like them discovering. Actually,
You're fine with them having disorders.
No, like I'm fine with how they are.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want to gain weight, but actually you've got a disorder, and that's why you're eating the way.
Yeah.
And then some of them, it's like, oh, well, I want to gain weight. Okay, so do you just live on energy drinks? That's all you eat. You have no meals and just energy drinks. But you don't have an eating disorder. You actually don't care about eating food. You just don't bother.
Yeah. Is this American or British?
British.
Right. I think I've seen this. Is there a thing where they get them like to stand, and then they have like big tubes?
Yeah.
And they pour the food the amount of like a week.
Yeah.
And it's always like the skinny person is like it's barely above their ankles.
Yeah.
And then the supersized one is like nearly up to their fucking
Yeah.
shoulders, and it's like I've seen like I think I've like seen this through other people watching it in houses I've lived, kind of thing. It's quite good.
Yeah.
If it's the thing I'm thinking of.
It's a decent program, but they're very much the same.
Yeah,
I've watched
it's-
a lot of the episodes in the background.
Then I remember. Okay, I think I've seen two, and on both of them they ended up going to America. To show you like, look how much worse this American person is.
Yeah.
They're like so big they can't get out of the house.
Yeah.
Like,
In different ones, they do different things. Like in the earlier seasons, I think it's better because they like to go. There's like these people that are trying to lose weight. We're going to do things with them, and there's these people that are anorexic, and we're going to try to work through their therapy and show that stuff. And then in the later ones, it's like, do you see this American guy? He's like 5 times the size of you. Needs surgery. I'll put you off eating. Do it.
Okay, so a few questions raised. First one, slightly personal. You're quite a dieter kind of guy.
Yeah.
You've done lots of diets throughout. How does it make you feel watching,
Mental health wise is probably not the greatest thing for me to watch. But
then stop immediately?
it's just background stuff. It don't bother me.
Okay, it's not like it doesn't affect you.
No.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I wouldn't eat food whilst watching it. Definitely won't be able to eat food whilst watching that program.
I just remember like this guy just lived off Chinese takeaways, and he had like a week's worth in one day. It was fucking mental, and then they poured it in, and it was like fuck. Okay, so we last time we talked about the Undateables, you and my brother Aaron, and that one, and I mentioned like I haven't watched it, but one of my worries is like how much is it? This is a program sympathetic to people's plights, and how much is it? This is entertainment. How do you feel the line is drawn? Because I remember enjoying it, but
I think the line's drawn actually quite well.
Right.
This one.
What channel was it?
It was Channel 4. It's drawn quite well for the most part. They do have a few things that just bug me, but it might be because they're older.
Right.
They very much go by the food pyramid that isn't very good.
Yeah.
Really is the thing that you should be doing, which is a bit weird, but they also they don't do this person's eating healthy, when they're clearly not
Mm.
and stuff. Like, there was this woman that was skinny, and she described her. She was like, "Oh, I think she's got a really healthy diet." And the doctor just gets to her. She says, "Did you just say healthy?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "The food you're eating might be healthy, but there's nowhere near enough of it."
Nice.
Because she ate really healthy, but it'd be like you like your diet's quite healthy and varied. Like, you do mostly vegetarian, but like bits of meat and stuff, and you have like, if you like put your like diet compared to like what doctors recommend currently through the NHS and stuff, your diet's quite sort of close to that. But if you ate like a quarter of what you actually eat, she was eating like that. It's like, no, that's why it's not healthy, because you have so little of it. I eat rice, I eat bread. It's like, okay, yesterday you had one slice of toast, and veg, and like 50 grams of meat. Yeah, you have all the groups, just nowhere near enough.
Yeah. I remember like when I first started trying to, because I didn't always have the healthiest or varied diet, and then like it was when I went abroad to Sri Lanka and ate curries and vegetables and learned, oh yeah, actually they taste really nice. And when I first started trying to put like 5 a day in and stuff, and then was like, oh, I'll have some apple slices, and then like I think it was during to you when you were like, yeah, like you need to eat the whole apple, and then another one. And I was like, oh look, I'm eating a clementine. He goes, yeah, if you eat 3 more though, that's one of your 5.
No, clementines
Shit.
is like 2. 1 apple is 1. 2 clementines is 1.
Okay, I just remember I was like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I just remember like, I was like, oh yeah, a bit of this. I've got 4 grapes.
I remember,
and you were like, you need to double that.
There was one, I remember, with the clementines. But, I've had like 6 clementines. That's like 3 of my 5 a day. No, that's just 1. Why? It's like, it has to be 5 different. No. Yeah, it has to be 5 different ones.
Well, I just bought a crate of apples. Right, I've just remembered, I got one more. Maybe I should have sent it to you. Right, we might do a follow-up on this one in like the next one, if I feel like it. Right, this could go spectacularly wrong. We've got a series of films coming up.
Yeah.
Female actors that we've cast.
Yeah.
Talented. All of them pretty talented.
Yeah.
Name them.
What, the ones we've got?
Yeah, the ones we've cast at the minute.
The actual name, like
Yeah, the actual actors' names, and I'll tell you when to start when it comes up. If it comes up.
Alright. Ruth.
Yep.
Lisa.
Yep.
Matilda.
Yep.
Jordan.
Yep.
Fern isn't an actress. Well, she is, but she's not.
Comes up on the train, did the readings.
Your friend.
Our friend.
Well, it's more your friend. She hung around here. I want to say Maddie, it's not Maddie. Why?
Right, okay. This has gone a bit wrong.
Yeah.
Very sorry. Mia Mills.
Mia
Mills.
I knew it was an M. I
Yeah.
was like, Millie? I was like, no, it's not Millie.
Mia Mills. I'm going to link, like, her acting stuff, because she's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, and, okay, we're doing, like, 6 shorts, and they're, like, we've been doing this 10 years. Here's a reflection on the disasters we and others have experienced in those 10 years, and when we first wrote the scripts, which wrote very quickly, it was like, I've knocked one out in a week.
Yeah.
Tom, look, oh yeah, we could go here, and we had to scale back from like a whole film to a day because we just had that much shit to put in 1 day's worth. Whereas like episode 3, and we're still introducing characters because we're stuck. We did readings. We had loads of great people come for the readings. Jordan Maycock, who's now in it, Alex Needham, who's now in it, and Mia Mills came up from like Coventry or Leicester or wherever.
Yeah.
And she was awesome. And then we've cast her as like Melissa, this fun-going thing. She has various like acting roles in films. She's super talented, and she's got. Do you remember she was talking about a film called Do Something Jake?
Yeah, she's posted like a trailer. I've
The
not
trailer.
watched it.
Have you not watched the trailer?
No.
I watched the trailer. I want to talk about the trailer, right? So I watched the trailer, and my initial reaction was, "Need more Mia." Like she's not in it enough for me. And maybe that's like a personal attachment. Like I want to see Mia on screen in things because she's really good, and I like looking at her. Not like I'm interested in any film where she just cameos, you know. But
you both have relationships. You don't need to look at her in that way. You have no interest in looking at her in that way. But she's a really good actress, and she.
Oh yeah, it's not a sex thing. But no more a sex thing than any guy looking at a girl ever is. And frankly, I'd fuck anything that moves. So guys or girls, no one's safe. I don't. I'm happily with my girlfriend, but you know. Anyway, Mia's in it. Not really enough, and it's an odd trailer. Like, if you look at it as just a film trailer, it's, I'd say, not the strongest, and it gives probably a bit too much of its story away. But I do really like the way the main actor seems to be getting done with most of it. I'm like, he actually seems like quite cool. But then when like the one thing I don't like, which if you read up on Do Something Jake, like, it's all written all in our descriptions, is they refer to themselves as innovative. Now, my view on things like the word innovative or iconic or integral to something is, I will decide that. Like, time and people will make something iconic. Yeah. You don't just give me something and tell me it's iconic. You don't just give me something and say, this is innovative. You do it, and then people will regard it as innovative or not.
You can do innovative if it's something that's completely new. Even if it's shit, it's innovative, but a stupid idea.
That could be. That could be used, I suppose, in that way, yeah. But for me, it's like, if a film is innovative, like, I will say, fucking hell, that's innovative. Yeah. The thing about Do Something Jake is it's made on, like, shoestring. Like, no fucking budget. Yeah. Which I totally... And then when you watch the trailer, with that in mind, I'm like, okay, there's a really good cast, like, range of cast and location stuff. And I'm like, actually, yeah, okay. For no budget, this trailer is actually pretty good. Yeah. Like, it's a lot stronger than a lot of the no-budget film trailers I've seen and stuff. It just... There wasn't enough Mia. I probably should have shown you this. This might be a really boring bit of the podcast. But if it is, fuck it. I said it was going to be terrible and dire. You had your warning. Yeah. You chose to listen.
We can always cut it.
But yeah, Do Something Jake. I'll put a link to it as well. Maybe I feel like maybe I've been a bit overly harsh. Have I been a bit too harsh on it? No. Not that you've seen it, but I'm not trashing it.
You've only seen it because Mia's in it, and Mia's not in it enough. So.
Yeah. But it does look, for the budget, it looks like that could actually be something, you know, like. It's not quite that film with the demon, the guy who fights demons who drives a street sweeper that Josh Lennon has. But it looks like, I can appreciate it and respect this. I just wanted more Mia.
See, with low budget films, I don't really pay much attention to the trailers. Like, the film's either good or not. Some people actually make shit films, make really good trailers, and some people make shit trailers, but actually make really fucking good films. Like, particularly on the low end, but like on the low budget, because they don't have as much experience, and because it's low budget, you don't have a guy whose job it is to make trailers, and therefore the trailer's going to be spectacular. You have a guy that makes films. So like with this one, you were saying they give away too much of the story. It might be he's really fucking good at making films, but he's not that great at trailers. So he's trying to tell the story in the trailer.
It could be. It could be. Right, cut off here if you want, dear listener, because this is just going to be a talk about trailers. But let's do this. Okay, for me, there are two ways that I will... there's three ways I will discover a film. One is there are a select number of people whose tastes, if they say, check out this film, I'll fucking check it out. Yeah. You happen to be one of them. My girlfriend's one of them, and there's various other people. Ryan Finnegan posts things online, and I'm like, fuck, that guy, you know. He's how I discover a lot of, like, and Josh Fowler, the filmmaker and stuff like that. The second way is trailers. And especially if you're a low budget, or you know, there are so many films that I'm like, I'm not even going to fucking try with that because of the fucking trailer. And some of those are like Hollywood stuff, and some of those are low budget. But for me, the low budget stuff is the important, because your trailer is your chance to grasp. So a bad trailer is really bad. Like, a bad trailer when you're called Assassin's Creed, fine. It's Assassin's Creed. I know that brand. I know what I'm getting into or not. And frankly, I just want to see the bullshit of the Animus on screen. Like, I'm not going to pay for it, but I just want to see, like, because the game's storyline is convoluted bullshit that they just gave up on. So I want to see, like, people spent millions trying to make it even remotely, like,
I'm pretty sure they're just going to follow, like, the first game.
Which is the most bullshit fucking... Yeah, you're the memory of a guy who's chasing a magic apple that might be from aliens. Fuck that. Like, it's just bullshit. People want to see it, so it was awful. But, so... There's those two ways, and then there is always like random chance. Like, sometimes I'll type in a keyword, but you tend to need to be on Netflix, Amazon, or your whole film on YouTube to show that. And most of the time, the random chance will be there's an actor I know or looking into because we might be working with them or want to see more of. So for me, a trailer is really fucking important in how I approach films. So if you have a trailer that makes me think like, you've already told me a film, I'm probably not going to watch the film unless one of my super friends watches it and recommends it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the trailer is your chance to get above like waiting for other people to see, and like I said, if it's a trailer, like a bad trailer that just isn't well put together is one thing, but a trailer that makes me feel like maybe I kind of feel like I know what your story's going to be, that's where that for me is kind of the worst one. My favourite trailers are the ones that reveal so little. If you go watch the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, most of it, especially the short trailers, was just the 5 of them in like the police section with a few lines that aren't actually in the film, and it just didn't really tell you much of the story, you know?
No.
And I'm actually quite hyped. I know the film won't be, but the Justice League trailer, because it's Ben Affleck going around.
Seen it.
Ben Affleck as Batman goes around, talks to a few people, like Aquaman, Wonder Woman stuff. There's a bit of comedy in the trailer which made me laugh, and then it's done. Like, I don't have any idea what the Justice League are facing or what they're doing or why, etc., etc. Well, I do. I know it's going to be Darkseid, but I don't really know that. You know, it's the trailer wouldn't, and that for me is what's key with a trailer.
Fair play. I discover films through either lists, people recommending them, or thumbnails. If it's like got a screenshot, it looks vaguely interesting or whatever, I'll click on it. If they capture me in the first 5 minutes, I'll go watch their film. If they don't, their first 5 minutes to me is their trailer. If you have a shit first 5 minutes, which unfortunately, we may have done with our first feature film. If you watch our first feature film, get through the first 20 minutes. I promise you it gets better.
I don't think the first 20 is as dire as you say, but it is slow and pacey. It's not the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, we learn from making a feature film.
Yeah. That's how they get me. If I'm ingrained by it or not. Like, there's films that some people say are good. I couldn't tell you what they are, but like I've got like high recommendations or whatever I've tried to click on. And there's been like an actor in it that's annoyed me so much that started off in it at the beginning that I've just been like, no, I can't watch this performance, and I've stopped. It's like, no, like I'm out.
Interesting. See, we kind of have different approaches here. So with trailers, you are more likely to just randomly select a film, not just from trailers, but whenever. Whereas I am much more like, I don't want to watch that trailer, so I'm not going to try. You will, especially subjects. You seem to do subjects a lot. Like, I'm interested in art, so I'm looking for, you know. But the other side is, when I start watching a film, I will give it at least 20 minutes, and then I will ask myself, am I interested in any of this or not? So, like, there aren't that many films that I've stopped watching. Nativity is, like, the latest one I can remember where I'm like, fuck this, 20 minutes, I'm not having fun, I don't want any more of this. But I need to get to that 20-minute mark, at least, for me.
Yeah. So in the first 5 minutes, there has to be something that has intrigued me in some way. Whether it's just like one actor's good and I want to know what they're doing, or one like hidden thing in the background is intriguing, or the tone's intriguing, like if they've got like really good sound design or something. Like, they have to have something that gets me at the beginning. If they don't, then okay.
Yeah, fair play. No. Right, we're done. We're out. Thank you very much for listening. Most of this wasn't probably what we watched. No. It was how we watched.
Yeah.
How one watched.
So, One Watched, aka the podcast of film. This episode
is that what
only.
The podcast of film.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just chatting about film.
Nice. Do Something Jake trailer, links in the description. Mia Mills, her acting stuff's linked in the description. She's fucking excellent. And we're done.
Yeah.
We're out. Goodbye.
Bye.
No, we're not doing the time. Turn it off.
Every time. Why can't you just turn it off? You just have to press the stop button.
You're closer.
I'm not closer. You're set up.
Your feet are literally next to the fucking thing. Don't kick it. Don't off.